So we're gonna just make a simple bag today, and this is a pant leg that's pretty straight, so that'll be pretty easy. And I think I'm gonna cut right below the knee. Just gonna go straight across. We're gonna use the very bottom of the jean as the top of the bag because it's already hemmed and it has that kind of nice look, and it's less work, so why not? And so a box corner is kind of just like a present. We're gonna measure and cut out these squares. You don't need anything too special. We have the fabric. We want this to sort of be the top, I think, because we like this edge. I'm using a quilter square, but you can just take a ruler and measure. It's going to come over one and down one. I'm going to cut out a 1-inch square. So that's going to make about a 2.5-inch box pleat. I don't know what else. So I'm just making just taking my little square I can see through. So then I'm just going to come and cut the square out. And so now I have this funny looking bottom, and I'm going to turn it inside out. I'm going to match that up, and I'm just going to go sew it across. And then I'm going to come across again with like a little zigzag because I want the bottom to be really strong, since that's where it's going to take all the weight of items that you put in it. So that's just kind of a way to reinforce the bottom. If you're a sewer and you have a serger, you could do this with a serger all in one step. All right, so now we have this, and so what we're going to do is we're going to pull this apart and open it up. So now I'm just going to sew across.
So then we would kind of consider these the sides or the...
Yeah, this is what's going to give the purse or the bag depth or dimension.
Instead of just being like a straight sleeve.
Right. And if you were to line this with something heavier, or you could stick a, some heavier piece of fabric or something on the bottom, you could give it some more structure. Okay, so you can see now we have this. Cut my little threads off.
Oh, that's it.
That's the bag.
We're halfway there already.
We're halfway there. So no excuses, right? It's pretty simple. So now you have, this is a box corner. So now we can add a little strap. We're going to use this piece of trim. This is just a little sliding. I'm going to feed it through the center again. I'm going to make I'm sewing a little rectangle just to the line element, and it reinforces it.
Adding some pieces
here on the bottom, so that, so we might want to stitch that first before we do anything. So it's helpful on your sewing machine if you have this is called a free arm. You can lift this away so that you can fit things in.
Oh. And then you're just going to bring it all the way up.
Just going to bring it all the way up.
And I could have just sewn it all at once right there too. And I'm just going to eyeball center, but you have to know your own sewing style. I have to sew with a lot of people, and some people have to measure everything and want it perfect. And that's okay too.
It gets a little trickier when you're on here and you can't turn it all the way.
So you sort of just doing that little cross pattern a little bit, and just so that it's not too busy.
So then for someone who doesn't have that removable part, that would have been a good thing to have add before we did the bottom.
Yeah, probably would be a good thing to add before you do the bottom. You still have to get up in there, but you're closer to the bottom. You could have done that then. Okay, so then we're going to, and we can attach it on the back side too if we want, just so that it doesn't move around too much. This, and we can cut this to the length that we want when we're done. I just didn't know what we need yet. So I cut one of the belt loop tabs off of the jeans, and I'm going to put that here so that this can slide through, but we'll hold it down. So I'm just going to see sort of so that it's in alignment right about here. And sometimes I use pins like this. So that it doesn't move around. Well, I mean, right, there's every level of people's style, taste, interest, and some people want perfection, and some people want sort of the authenticity of something, just, you know. So I'm just going to go back, and I hit reverse, go back and forth a few times to make it strong. Really, the only two stitches I've used on this are my straight stitch, and I have a, you know, forward and reverse, and a zigzag stitch just to reinforce the bottom.
Alright, so I have one down. And poor little sewing machine has a lot of hours on it, and it's getting to a point where I think I need to take it in for a little cleanup.
Yeah, so we have our little tab on there. So you could, we could sew this. You can always hand stitch little tacks if you want to keep it from moving too much. I'm just going to feed it through there.
Oh, so cute.
And then this is just going to can just come through here. And then we can just decide, you know, what we want to do. We'll cut some off because we don't want it hanging
Too much.
Yeah. So,
I just want to note, I love that you said we're not going to throw that away.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I have a stash of tiny pieces of fabric because I make jewelry too.
Right.
And I use fabric for jewelry, little pieces.
I did see, maybe it was you who made it. I pulled out of the little scrap pieces. Sounds like something you would do if you have it.
I make dolls too because you know, I work with kids and I make doll quilts, and so I do use all that. So I just folded this right sides together in a little triangle.
To make like a tab.
Yeah, just to clean up that edge. You don't want it to unravel,
Oh, right.
and to make it look a little bit neater. And then that just kind of, and you could stitch that down. And there you go. You can pull it tighter if you want it to come closer, or pull it back if you need to put taller things in.
Voila.
Voila.
Thank you, Terry.
Yeah.